Hi everyone, welcome back to another MechSpace video tutorial. So today I'm going to be talking you through how we create online forms that integrate nicely into Notion, and this is through a third-party service called Fillout. Right, now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to navigate to the MechSpace staff dashboard, so the main MechSpace page, and if I scroll down to other staff pages, if you look at other logins, you'll see we've got Fillout right here. So I'm going to open that link. So if I click on that, great. Now that takes us to Fillout, and here we just log in with the shared MechSpace login. Great, now this is the home page of Fillout. Very simple. You have several different folders you can organize your forms into, or you could just put it in home and not give it a folder. That's about it. So today I'm going to be using the example of creating a form for F1 in schools teams that are visiting MechSpace and hopefully bringing a CAD file to have manufactured on the Denfords. So first thing I'm going to do, just to keep it organized, I'll add a new folder and I'll call it F1 in schools. Great. Okay, and now to make a form, just simply click New Form, then click on Connect, and then click Notion Form. It will then ask you to choose a theme. You can choose any of these. You can go back later on and modify it at any point. Now it's going to ask for a Notion connection. This has already been set up. You'll never have to do anything here. So just press Next. And now it'll ask for a workspace. We have only one workspace, MechSpace. Next, it's going to ask for a database. So if I open this drop down, you'll see it's listing all of the databases that we have in Notion. So I actually don't have the database that I want this to integrate into. So I'm going to go to Notion, and it's an F1 in schools form. So I'm going to go to the F1 in schools page, and I'll just click plus, and I'm going to make a database. Okay, and I can go here and I'll call this school form responses. Right. So now if I press refresh here, and great, now in the drop down my new database shows up. So now I'll click create, and we'll call this F1 in schools student info. Okay, so this is the main page where you do all of the setup for your form. So, very similar to Microsoft and Google Forms. So, I'll think about what questions am I going to ask the students. So if I go to other, so this side menu gives you all of the different types of questions you can have in your form. You can have short answer, multiple choice, an email. You can have headings. So I'm going to start off with a heading. So just simply leave it at that. And I can have a paragraph for more information. Please fill out this form, whatever you want to say. You can make many lines. And you can also include an image. If I want to add a sort of banner to this, I can do that. I can have it on the side, I can have it below. Very customizable. So now let's just get into the questions. So I'm going to start by asking them for their name. So your name, and we've got more options here on the right hand side. So I'm going to put a placeholder, first and last name. So I can put a caption, first and last name, and then a placeholder as an example, John Doe. So very customizable. I can require this as well. I can have it half width and put another question alongside it if I want. We've also got logic. I can have this question hide or show depending on answers to previous questions. I can have validation, so you can even, it's fully customizable, the validation. So you can, go into ChatGPT and get it to generate a regex expression for you that requires it to be, two names. Great. So next, I want to know what school they belong to. And again, simple as, I can give more explanation if I want to, and I'm going to require this as well. And your team, require that as well. And I want to include a question asking them if they want to upload a CAD submission. So I have a few options to choose from. I could do a drop down, so yes or no. I could have a switch, a checkbox. I'm going to go with the switch. So I'll say, please toggle the switch if you'd like to upload a CAD file. Okay, and I'll leave that as not required, just in case they don't want to upload a CAD file. Next, I'm going to include a file uploader. So, your CAD file. And, right, I'm going to require this when people toggle that switch, and I will have this show conditionally when, so I can set a condition. I'm going to pick from my reference, I have the current page, or we can do all sorts of automations with calculations and whatnot. I'll click the previous question, and when it is set, meaning when the toggle is triggered, this question will show. And you can sort of see that in real time. If I toggle that, then it shows. Great. So that's not all. We want to restrict what files they're able to upload. So great, limit accepted file types. So I can do step, 3DF, DXF, whatever you like, STL. Yep. Please upload a valid file type. So you can have an error message as well when people, answer the question incorrectly. Cool. So I can customize this further, right? I can go back to themes, can mess around here if I like. I can, it's interesting. Yeah, you can, wow, lots to choose from that I've never really had a look at. Yeah, it's a lot of themes actually. We're going to stick with plain. You can also, if you click on add a page, so this is our form, but you can add other pages to it. So we can have a cover that welcomes people. I'll just call it cover, and I'll go welcome, and we can add an image if we want. So if I want this banner, I'll copy the address and put a link here, set the image. Nah, you get the idea. And I can, have it appear like that if I want, or above or to the side. So very customizable. Have a description, please fill out this form, and can even change the button text. So let's go whatever you want. Cool. So you can have a cover. You can also add a second page. So you can have this page show depending on the answer to the previous questions. So yeah, what else do we want? Let's have a look. So you can add the option for people to review their answers right before submission, and a payment thing for whatever reason. We wouldn't really need that. Again, you can customize what the buttons say, you can customize what fields to show, all the text you can change. And then you get a nice ending page with confetti, lovely. Here again, we can, hide that icon if we want, and we can put whatever text we want here. You can also, direct people to another form if you like. And let's see. Yeah, you can add whatever elements you want. I like adding this, a button that lets people send their responses to their email. You could have a video if you want, have a fill again button. We can have a URL linking to, to a Notion website if we like. So lots of customizability. So that's pretty much the gist of creating the form. Next, we are going to look at integrations. Now that's how you integrate the form responses to the Notion database. So I come here and I see create page or update page. You'll always want create page. Sorry, the lights have gone. You'll always want create page. That basically means it's not creating a page necessarily, it's creating a new entry in the Notion database. Whereas if we do update page, it's just going to be, updating the same entry in the Notion database. So mappings is where you do all of your customization with this. So if I click on add new, you'll see we choose a Notion field and link that to a Fillout reference. So we've got name and tags, and it's gotten those from my database here. Now those are just a default, of course. They're not really what I want. So I'm going to change all of these columns. So first of all, we had the student's name, and we can name these columns arbitrarily. It doesn't need to match, the title of the question. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of tags. I want a new column for their school. That's going to be text. I want another text column for their team. And I want, let's go with a checkbox, CAD, if they want to submit a CAD file. And lastly, I'll do a, where is it? File. Lastly, I'll do files, so CAD file. Great. I think that's all I had. Let's go back to the form and have a look. Yep. So yeah, come to think of it, I'll actually also add an email input and require this. And now I don't even need any validation here because Fillout will detect this as an email. Great. So your email. And so I'm not done actually. I'm going to add one more thing, which is going to ask the student about their teacher. How would their teacher like to be contacted? So I'm going to turn this into a multiple choice question. So how would your teacher like to be contacted? And I'll give option for email and an option for phone. And I'm going to, we can change the style. I'm going to change, I'm going to make this required. Lots you can adjust. And after that, so I'm going to need an email input for the teacher teacher's email and teacher's phone as well, which will be text. So I'll have a short answer. Actually, I believe they have one just for phones. Yep. So if I take the phone number one, this one's nice. We can automatically have the country, the area code in there. So I'll set the default to GB, and I'll require this as well. And so logic, I'm only going to have this show, so I'll pick show when, set conditional logic, and add a new condition. I'm going to pick the current page, going to pick this question, how would they like to be contacted? And when that question equals phone, then this question will show. I can do the same with the email. So I'll require it. I'll go to logic, and I'll have this only show when email is ticked there. Great, and if that's done right, if I tick that off, which I think I need to preview the form to do that, but you get the idea. And lastly, I'm going to ask them when would they like to come into MechSpace. So I'm going to find a date. Put that here. When would you like to visit MechSpace? I'll require this as well, and I'm going to change the format, put the first day of the week to Monday, the correct day. And lastly, yes, I'm going to set a date range. So the nice thing about this, we can, similarly program it. If I go to date utilities, I can, include a start date. So let's say, I only want them to be able to book a session at MechSpace 7 days from now. So I'll do that. Click OK. And, they can only book within the next 6 months or so. So I'll do n days from now, and, I'll do 180. Great. Now, whenever I make these changes, I'll need to press publish for them to update. So now I've got a few more questions here that, we don't have columns for in Notion. So I'm going to go back to Notion and update that. So we've got the teacher's contact details. So teacher's preferred contact, and I'll change that to a select. Sorry, I'll do a multi-select actually, because it could be multiple. I'll add phone, and I'll add email. Great. And next, I want their email. And I want their phone. Cool. And, I can also ask, what am I asking? The date. What date are they coming in? So, MechSpace session, can change the format to whatever we want. And yeah, it's a date. Cool. Okay, now we've got, and we'll need one more for the student's email. So going to go here and click on email, student's email, and I can drag and drop, put them wherever I want. The order doesn't matter. So next, we've got our form set up. We go to integrations, click edit. So you'll see I still have these two, but if I hit refresh, now Fillout is going to update with all of the new Notion fields I've created. Great. And we'll just go through them one by one. Doesn't matter what order you do it in. So MechSpace session in Notion, that is the date that we asked them for. So when would you like to visit? So we'll do that. Great. CAD, that's whether they want to upload CAD or not. So I'll do the toggle. Cool. The CAD file. Go to page. Your CAD file. Teacher's email. Teacher's email. School. Here, your school. Teacher's phone. Preferred contact for the teacher. So I'm getting a conflict here, which means, so the Notion column only accepts arrays when, so it wants me to change the Fillout field. Wants me to change the Fillout field to multi-select. So this is good. If it's very difficult to actually have errors between Fillout and Notion, because it'll highlight whenever there's something you need to change. And it's not often that I've had that actually. So try using a multi-select. So just to recap, teacher's preferred contact in Notion, this is a multi-select. So I'll click update just to save what I've done there. I'm going to go back to the questions and I'm going to change this to a multi-select, which I can't, I can't quickly transform it. So I'll have to make a new one. I'll do email and phone. Get rid of this. And I'll change the conditional logic. When email is picked, I'll go here, do the same, edit conditional logic. Phone. Great. So I'll click publish again just to save my changes. Go back to integrations, go to edit, and what am I doing? The teacher's preferred contact. Go to page. There. Now I've gotten rid of the conflict. Sometimes even if you have a conflict, it works completely fine. So you may not even need to, it might be worth trying the form and seeing if it works. You don't always need to resolve those warnings. Team, your team. Student's email, your email, and lastly, the student's name, your name. Great. You can also put a little blurb into the body of the Notion database entry. So this entry was automatically generated by Fillout. Great. And I'll click update. That's all done. We've got our shared link here. So I'll copy that. You can also see our results here. So let's fill out the form and see what happens. So welcome, enter the form, I'll give my name, I'll give my email. You'll see if I just put gibberish and try to submit, enter a valid email. I'll put in my school, put in my team, how would my teacher like to be contacted, email, so like their email, and phone. Cool. Yep. And when would I like to visit MechSpace? Right, the earliest date I can pick is a week from today. And let's see, I can pick all the way up until 6 months from now in April. And I'm going to pick this random date. It's also probably possible to, remove Saturday and Sunday from the selection. And I do want to upload a CAD file. So I'll click that, upload a valid type, okay, and go to my downloads, and I've got that F3D there. And it is invalid because I don't know how to spell. I put 3DF instead of F3D. Right, so I had a look through and it seems like the validation for file format isn't really working as intended. So I've had to turn it off, unfortunately. If I figure out a way to get that working, I'll append that to this video. But for now we have it off. However, I've just put in a caption here, please upload the file in step, or F3D, so at least people know what to upload. So if I click browse, so it would highlight only the files that are actually, meet the validation requirements. Of course, I've turned that off, so everything is highlighted, but I can upload my F3D file. Great. I'll click next. I can review if I want, I can go back and edit if I want, but everything looks good to me, and then I'll click submit. And great, confetti, lovely. I can click this link to see that link, I can fill it out again, I can also email myself if I wanted to, get a response, get a copy of my response, great. And, if I go back to Fillout, and all of my responses are here. Now if I go to Notion, and if I refresh, nice. So all of the details I put in there are here. I can open it, I can see this entry is automatically generated by Fillout. You can add other columns to this. I might add a formula that simply, adds some days to this date or whatever. I can do that. I can customize it however I want. I can add a new view. I could put it in, Kanban view. And I'll group it by school. I'll delete these non-responses. Those are just in there by default. And you can see, we got UCL there. If I added someone from a different school, you'd get that there. We've got my CAD file. If I click on that, it'll download it for me. And I can open that in Fusion if I want. We could also add a field for them to upload an image of their part, but I think you get the idea. Yep, that's Fillout. I hope this proves useful. If anything wasn't clear, please let me know either in the comments here or on Notion comments or via WhatsApp. But in the meantime, yes, thank you for joining me. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you in another video.